The Second World War was a global conflict that engulfed nearly every corner of the world from 1939 to 1945. It was a war of ideologies, of empires, and of unimaginable brutality. Millions perished, cities were reduced to rubble, and the political landscape of the world was forever altered. The seeds of the war were sown in the ashes of the First World War. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to ensure peace, instead bred resentment and instability. Germany, burdened by reparations and territorial losses, seethed with anger and a thirst for revenge. Economic depression gripped the world in the 1930s, further fueling extremism and nationalism. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi Party rose to power, promising to restore German glory and scapegoating Jews and other minorities for the nation's ills. In Japan, militarism took hold, driven by expansionist ambitions and a desire for resources. The stage was set for a global conflagration. The Nazi Party's ascent to power in Germany marked a turning point in world history. Hitler's ideology, a toxic mix of nationalism, racism, and anti-Semitism, found fertile ground in a nation still reeling from defeat and economic hardship. The Nazis quickly consolidated their power, dismantling democratic institutions and establishing a totalitarian state. A campaign of terror was unleashed against Jews, political opponents, and anyone deemed undesirable by the regime. In the East, Imperial Japan, under the increasingly militaristic government, embarked on a path of aggression. Seeking to establish dominance in Asia, Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931, followed by a full-scale invasion of China in 1937. The League of Nations, weak and divided, proved powerless to stop the aggressors. The world watched with growing apprehension as the storm clouds gathered. On September 1, 1939, the world watched in horror as German forces stormed into Poland, unleashing the full fury of their blitzkrieg, or lightning war tactics. Tanks, aircraft, and infantry coordinated in a rapid, overwhelming assault that shattered Polish defenses. France and Great Britain, bound by treaty to defend Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. World War II had begun. However, the initial response from the Allies was hesitant and slow. The German war machine, honed to a deadly edge, swept through Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and finally France. Paris fell on June 14, 1940, delivering a shocking blow to the Allies. The Battle of Britain followed, as the Luftwaffe, Germany's air force, attempted to bomb Britain into submission. The Royal Air Force, though outnumbered, fought valiantly, aided by the newly developed radar technology. Section 4. Turning the Tide. The Battle of Britain proved to be a turning point in the war. Germany's failure to defeat the RAF forced Hitler to postpone his plans to invade Britain. It also allowed the United States, still officially neutral, to begin providing vital aid to Great Britain. In June 1941, Hitler made a fateful decision, breaking his pact with Stalin and launching a massive invasion of the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa, as it was known, was the largest military operation in history. The initial German advance was swift and brutal. However, the Red Army, though initially caught off guard, fought back with fierce determination. The vast distances, harsh weather conditions, and the tenacity of the Soviet people would all take their toll on the German war machine. On December 7, 1941, the war took another dramatic turn when Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack, intended to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet, instead galvanized American public opinion and brought the United States into the war. Section 5. The Eastern Front and Total War. The Eastern Front became a battle of annihilation, a clash of ideologies, and a struggle for survival. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought from August 1942 to February 1943, stands as a chilling testament to the brutality of the conflict. The city was reduced to rubble in fierce street fighting that claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands of soldiers and civilians. The German defeat at Stalingrad marked a turning point in the war, shattering the myth of German invincibility. As the tide of war turned, the Allies faced the daunting task of liberating occupied Europe. The D-Day landings in Normandy on June 6, 1944, marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The liberation of France was followed by a grueling campaign across Western and Eastern Europe. The war also witnessed the horrors of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of millions of Jews and other minorities by the Nazi regime. Section 6. A New World. The war in Europe finally came to an end in May 1945 with Germany's unconditional surrender. The Pacific War raged on for several more months until Japan, after suffering devastating atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, surrendered in August 1945. World War II left an indelible mark on human history. Tens of millions of lives were lost, and entire cities lay in ruins. The war also reshaped the geopolitical landscape, leading to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The conflict also gave birth to the United Nations, an international organization dedicated to maintaining peace and promoting cooperation among nations. The lessons learned from the horrors of World War II continue to shape international relations and serve as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression and intolerance.